If bragging made things come true but your enemy got double the reward, would you still choose to brag that you had a beautiful wife? The next day the school goddess I loved for years dragged me to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register. But I met my enemy on the road. He not only had an equally beautiful wife but also stole my school goddess away. Would you still be willing? Even so, I certainly was not willing, because I had a more powerful ability. Whenever someone bragged to me, I could obtain whatever they bragged about. Once I possessed this power, I immediately attended the class reunion I had previously rejected. Based on experience, these gatherings were always full of bragging. In fact, things went exactly as I expected. A classmate started bragging as soon as the party began, claiming his Bitcoin bought 10 years ago was now worth sky-high prices. My phone immediately received a notification. 10,000 Bitcoin arrived in my account, and 1 Bitcoin was worth $50,000 now. That was $500 million in an instant. I felt a surge of excitement instantly. Coming to this so-called class reunion was definitely worth it. Yes, next up, my lovely classmates talked confidently on the surface, but actually each one was better at bragging than the last. One claimed he bought a top-tier apartment after 3 years of graduation. A property deed immediately appeared in my bag. Another said he just picked up a global limited edition sports car. The next second the car keys appeared in my pocket. Even a female classmate claimed her boyfriend went 9 times a night. I suddenly felt invincible below the belt. In just the time of one meal, I already had a perfect life. I had the Thompson apartment if I wanted a house. I had the Lamborghini if I wanted a car. Even the hotel where we were eating became my 8th industry property. Then the waiter came to settle the bill, and the classmate who just pretended the hotel was his hesitated at this moment. He barely managed to report a name, but the waiter did not recognize him at all. Seeing the classmate could not hold the scene, I decided to go up and help him out of the dilemma. After all, eating someone's food makes you soft. If not for his bragging sentence, I could not have owned this Grand Hyatt International hotel worth billions. I silently took out a black card and handed it to the waiter. The waiter's face turned serious immediately upon seeing it. He took the card respectfully and asked me to wait. Soon that waiter ran back to the private room, and behind him followed a foreigner in a suit. The foreigner saw me, his face full of flattery, calling me boss, asking why I did not notify him when I came to eat. I answered calmly that I was having a class reunion, asking why I would notify him. Then I dismissed him with a few words, but everyone in the private room looked at me in confusion, asking me why that foreigner called me boss. I did not want to explain too much, so I just said I was a small boss with some shares. People around were surprised hearing my words, but they could understand it. It was just that afterwards everyone's address for me changed from Brother Chu to Big Brother Chu. Even many people came up to get close, but soon a discordant voice sounded, saying what was so amazing, saying let's go to Red Romance Club now. My cousin is the manager there. I will let him get us the biggest private room. The speaker was the class rich kid Simp Wellington. He was supposed to be the protagonist today. Everyone was revolving around him, but who knew I would appear halfway? He was naturally somewhat unhappy, but as soon as his voice fell, my phone immediately received a text message. Just in the blink of an eye, I actually became one of the top Red Romance Club bosses in the country. I could only say classmates were truly kind-hearted. Giving gifts even caught me off guard. Then Simp Wellington took his phone, pretended to go out and make a call, then came back with a disappointed face, saying the private rooms were all booked today. I naturally knew he was bragging, but I would not expose him. After all, everyone present was my provider, so I called the Red Romance general manager. Soon a diamond VIP room was booked. Simp Wellington's face turned red instantly, but in his heart he thought this was definitely bragging, waiting to see how I would clean up the mess. The meal ended. Everyone came out of the hotel preparing to go to Red Romance. A blue-black supercar was parked at the entrance. Everyone's eyes lit up. The boys in the class got excited. This was a Koenigsegg one, worth 120 million top supercar. Simp Wellington just said his dad bought him one. Could this car be his? So everyone's eyes looked towards Simp Wellington, but Simp Wellington looked confused. He was just bragging earlier, although his family had some small money, but the family would not spend so much to buy him a car. He had to say awkwardly this car was not his. That one was just reserved, not picked up yet. Then to ease the embarrassment, he walked to my side calling me mouse, asking did I not come by bus? Why not take his car? We could go together. Looking at the benefactor's bad intentions, I smiled and said no need. I asked someone to bring my car over. I will drive myself. Simp Wellington heard my words, pointing to a Wuling Hongguang not far away, teasing could your car be that one? He still thought I was pretending, but the next second he froze completely, because I walked directly to the Koenigsegg, used the supercar key I just obtained, and easily opened the car door. This operation not only made Simp Wellington dumb, but also left everyone around standing still. Only then did Simp Wellington sigh secretly. Turns out he was not bragging but truly awesome. Seeing me get in the car, the boys in the class involuntarily swallowed saliva. Girls were eager to try the passenger seat. Seeing the class beauty who said her boyfriend 9 times walked to the car door preparing to get in, I directly waved to the distance. To a girl who had been silent all along, Angel Ren, take my passenger seat. Class beauty froze, face turned pig liver color. Angel Ren heard my voice and was very surprised, but still walked over freely. Actually Angel Ren looked inconspicuous, just because no one noticed her. Anyone looking carefully would discover. Angel Ren's beauty absolutely crushed the class beauty. I called her for another reason. She was actually the daughter of the Dai group, family wealth at least hundreds of billions, but knowing this secret, only me in the whole class. At this moment Angel Ren in the passenger seat used her hand to brush hair from her forehead, leaning head to examine me carefully, asking if I hid very deep. I smiled and said classmate Chu, you are too classmate Dai. Angel Ren looked at my profile and smiled softly, asking which big family I was from. I really wanted to say I was actually just an ordinary person, Wellington. Before coming to eat this meal, I did not even know Koenigsegg was a car brand, but classmates were too powerful, crazy giving me things. This was not just lighting the car, it cost me great effort. Of course I would not say these things, saying she would not believe it, so I simply stayed silent. But Angel Wren saw my mysterious look. She thought I was too disdainful to tell her, so she asked if I knew her real identity. Die group. I only said 4 words, and she understood clearly. Soon we arrived at the destination. Other classmates also arrived one after another. However, just as we were about to enter the club, a rogue rich kid suddenly blocked us. He extended a hand to Angel Wren, saying, "Beauty, I call Vile Cross. We just opened a Supreme VIP room," asking if she wanted to come play together, saying when tired I could drive my Rolls Royce to take her for a spin. Voice fell. Everyone present changed color. U Group was the auto leader company in the city, even for a billionaire like Simp Wellington. Even Simp Wellington paled next to Vile Cross.